We've been exploring some of the different ways to play Neverwinter Nights. And this leads into the question, can you solo Neverwinter Nights? That's what we're going to explore. And within that framework, I think the important point, we kind of have this trifecta of classic D&D games. The first, of course, would be Baldur's Gate. The second would be Neverwinter Nights. Now, it's sometime later. It's a completely different rule set. It's a 3.5, technically 3.0 rule set versus Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd edition for Baldur's Gate. But both are classics that stand on their own. And then you've got Icewind Dale, which kind of released along the way, building on the popularity of Baldur's Gate, takes us to a different place in the Forgotten Realms. But the focus was, in Baldur's Gate, we've got this classic, no spoilers, this classic AD&D epic story. You go from low level to high level. You meet NPCs. You literally impact the realm. It's about the focus of your character. Absolutely. Really, really fantastic. Building on that, they didn't want to make kind of a part two. They wanted something to be in that area, use that engine, but stand on its own. And for that, Icewind Dale, while there is a story going on, it's more of mass combat. This is before Siege, right? Siege of Dragonspear came out way, way later. That's got a ton of mass combat. If you're playing that on a slow device, it's throwing like Wargame type stuff at you. But without any spoilers, in Neverwinter Nights, in Icewind Dale, what we're seeing is a lot more mass combat. And there's some pretty exciting, epic fights within there, not only against classic AD&D monsters, but against like classic AD&D hordes. So the focus, even though it's the same rule set, is between the two. The other aspect is, in Baldur's Gate, just to framework this out, in Baldur's Gate, you've got your primary character that you can create and you have agency over, but then you've got your NPCs. In Icewind Dale, you control the entire party. As in, the first time I played it, I created my character, I jump into the game, I'm playing, I'm like, I'm getting killed here. I need some help. Where's the NPCs? Where's the people to join? You find out, no, you create your entire party. It's a mass combat party game. You have full control. You create the full party. Different implementation. Now, that framework is important because can you solo Icewind Dale? Heart is a little bit different. We'll put that aside for now. Yes, absolutely. In some ways, it's a little bit easier. In some ways, it's a little bit harder, just like you can solo Baldur's Gate. But the Icewind Dale engine assumes that you are going to have a full party with you. When you create one character and just play that character, the primary thing that you're missing out on, there's a couple of little somewhat side quests that are character specific that you might miss out on, but nothing that's going to be groundbreaking. Again, being very, very careful of spoilers. But the main thing is magic items. There's some clickies and some stuff you pick up along the way that is specific for certain classes within the game. Because the game is assuming, hey, you're going to have this class and that class and a different bunch of players. Under that assumption, missing out on those magic items, it's not groundbreaking, but it takes a little bit of the fun away, right? Because you get to see synergies, you get to do different things in combat. Now, again, that's not to say you can't play through in one class, play through again in another class, play through again in another class and get those items. But for me, that's the primary interaction. The other interaction that you miss out on as a kind of solo player playing one character is the fact that because you have full agency to control your party, you're going to miss out on certain combinations, certain buffs, certain character class interactions. Again, while there is a quest and a story going on, it's primarily a combat simulation, mass combat game. One Toon misses out on that. Now, the advantage is, of course, it's a fixed system in that the encounters are not random. All that experience is going to be piled in to one character. You are going to level up very, very, very quickly. And not that there's a challenge rating, because this is Advanced Dungeons & Dragons 2nd edition, but the various hit dice tracks that you fight through the different chapters and experiences, you're always going to be on the top or slightly above. It's still easy to get overwhelmed, and there's still some really tough encounters, but all that experience, all the gold is going to go in to your character. So very, very quickly, there's going to be certain magic items that you encounter early on, but they're kind of saved for later. There's some magic items at different points that you'll be able to buy, not right away, but revisit later on when you need them. You're going to be able to buy those much, much early, very, very quick. I mean, in most role-playing games, as you get to the mid and high levels, you're just absolutely flush in gold and cash and everything. More so in Baldur's Gate and Icewind Dale when you solo, because you're getting all the loot and the gems and the potions, and you're selling them. You're going to be able to buy more gear much, much quicker. So from that perspective, you're going to level up and you're going to have gear. But in the beginning, it is very challenging because you're only a level 1 character. And it is the AD&D THAC0 system. You're going to get some hits. You're going to eat some magic. It's very quick and easy to get overwhelmed. You might have to take things piece by piece. An example is, the early intro story where you fight a ton of monsters. You might have to go in, draw off 4 or 5, fight them, rest, go in, draw off 4 or 5, fight, rest. It's a little bit slow progress in the beginning. But as you level up and become much more powerful, it is totally and completely able to do it solo. Now, I see this to kind of finish it out. I see playing solo, same as BG1. It's something to do after you've played the game as intended. So if we look at Icewind Dale, play it through 2 or 3 times. At that point, we're going to know the primary story. Then play it through another 1 or 2 times to pick up some of the side quests and little things that you missed, right? Build that checklist. Then I can play it through 2 or 3 or 4 more times because I have full control, or even more, with the whole party. So maybe I want to make different parties, play with different things, magic heavy party, magic light party. 2 playthroughs. Once I did an all thief party, and then I did an all mage party. Like, the party got sent up to Icewind Dale and that area up there, a bunch of mages, and things happened and they're pulled in, and now it's a mage heavy party. I had to throw in a few sorcerers also because magic's a little bit harder to come by. But you can play stuff that's just a lot of fun within that system. I played a monk heavy party once, right? The Fists of Death, exploring that aspect of it. Because you have the full control, that's the playthrough. The last playthrough, that's when I believe we get to solo. You've experienced it. You know it. You want to go through with a kind of one character to manage that, see how fast, how quickly, how high you can go. Can one character hold their own? But the game is definitely able to solo, just a little bit different with how it works.